The challenge of defining a good English lesson is not merely one of pedagogy, but one of philosophical alignment regarding the very purpose of language education. For generations, the archetypal image of a language class involved rows of students silently conjugating verbs, memorizing vocabulary lists, and completing fill-in-the-blank grammar exercises, a methodology rooted in the structuralist and behaviorist traditions that treated language as a discrete set of rules and habits to be mastered through rote repetition. However, modern linguistic science and second language acquisition (SLA) research have emphatically shifted this paradigm. Today, a good English lesson, whether focused on native literature, academic writing, or English as a second language (ESL, EFL), is recognized not as a session of mechanical drilling, but as a dynamically orchestrated, meaning-focused, and student-centric experience. It is an act of architecture meticulously designed to bridge the gap between abstract linguistic knowledge and functional communicative performance. A good English lesson is a multifaceted, highly adaptive, and contextually grounded learning event built upon three interdependent and foundational pillars: linguistic and cognitive theory, which informs why and how language is acquired; pedagogical design and practice, which dictates what and how the content is delivered; and the creation of an authentic learning ecology, which defines the environment necessary for genuine communication. This exploration will demonstrate that the most effective lessons are those that recognize language as a living, complex system, fostering not just competence, but the learner's identity within a global communicative context. Part 1. The Theoretical Foundations, Linguistics and Cognition. A teacher cannot effectively teach what they do not fundamentally understand. The greatest lessons are those silently guided by an informed theoretical understanding of how the human brain processes, stores, and produces linguistic data. This foundation moves the teacher from being a mere executor of curriculum to a diagnostician and a cognitive facilitator. A. Communicative competence. The paradigm shift, the journey toward modern language pedagogy, begins with the work of anthropologist and linguist Del Hymes, who coined the term communicative competence in response to Noam Chomsky's focus on linguistic competence, the innate, idealized knowledge of grammatical rules. Hymes asserted that knowing a language means far more than knowing its syntax. It means knowing when, where, and to whom to say what. A good English lesson, therefore, must address four critical components of communicative competence. 1. Grammatical competence, the accurate use of morphology, syntax, phonology, and lexicon. The old focus. 2. Discourse competence, the ability to connect sentences and ideas into coherent and cohesive units, e.g., structuring an essay, managing a turn-taking conversation. 3. Sociolinguistic competence, understanding the social rules of language use, including formality, politeness, and appropriate register, e.g., knowing not to address a university president as, "Hey, buddy." 4. Strategic competence, the ability to overcome communication breakdowns, e.g., paraphrasing, asking for clarification, using nonverbal cues. The lesson's design must integrate all four, a lesson focused solely on the passive voice. Grammatical competence is incomplete if it doesn't also include a task that requires students to apply the passive voice appropriately in a formal report. Sociolinguistic and discourse competence. E. Second language acquisition, SLA, theories and practice. The effectiveness of a lesson is often a function of how well it incorporates the major findings of SLA research regarding input, interaction, and output. 1. The input hypothesis. Stephen Krashen's monitor model, particularly the input hypothesis, posits that acquisition occurs when learners are exposed to comprehensible input that is slightly beyond their current level of competence. A truly good lesson is engineered to deliver this input consistently and efficiently. Practical application. The material, reading text, audio, video, should be challenging enough to stretch the learner, but supported by scaffolding, pre-teaching vocabulary, visual aids, simplified instructions, to ensure the core meaning is grasped. A lesson that presents input too far beyond I is merely noise, leading to frustration and disengagement. High effective filter. 2. The interaction hypothesis, Long. Building on Krashen, Michael Long emphasized the crucial role of negotiation of meaning. When communication breaks down, learners are forced to clarify, confirm understanding, and repeat or modify their utterances. This interaction pushes them to focus consciously on language form. Practical application. The good lesson prioritizes pair work and small group tasks that necessitate genuine, two-way communication. Information gaps. Problem solving. The interaction, not just the practice, is the engine of acquisition. The teacher acts as a traffic controller, setting up tasks where students must genuinely use language to accomplish a non-linguistic goal. 3. The output hypothesis, Swain. Merrill Swain argued that comprehensible input alone is insufficient. Learners must also be pushed to produce comprehensible output. The act of producing language, especially in writing or speaking, forces the learner to move from semantic processing, understanding meaning, to syntactic processing, generating accurate structures. Practical application. Output tasks must be demanding and varied, e.g., giving a presentation, debating a topic, writing a persuasive email. This process leads to noticing the gap. Learners become aware of what they can't say or write accurately, which directs their attention back to the necessary input and form correction. The push for output is a core feature of an effective lesson. C. Cognitive load theory and attentional resources. A good lesson must be mindful of the learner's cognitive load. John Sweller's theory suggests that working memory has limited capacity. Lessons that overwhelm the learner with too many new concepts, excessive ambiguity, or unhelpful, extraneous information will fail. Practical application. Chunking. Content must be delivered in digestible, logical chunks. Isolation and integration. When introducing a new grammar point, e.g. present perfect continuous, isolate it first, practice it, and then integrate it into a larger, more complex task. Minimizing extraneous load. Instructions must be crystal clear and the lesson flow predictable. A chaotic or unclear lesson plan instantly consumes valuable working memory that should be dedicated to language acquisition. The use of clear visual organization and consistent routines is a hallmark of the expert teacher. Part 2. The pedagogical pillars, design and delivery. While theory provides the what and why, pedagogy defines the how. A good lesson is fundamentally the result of deliberate, structured design, culminating in effective real-time delivery. A. Backward design, starting with the end in mind. The most powerful approach to lesson planning is backward design, popularized by Wiggins and McTighe. Instead of starting with an activity, let's read Chapter 5. The teacher starts with the ultimate destination. Part 2. The pedagogical pillars, design and delivery. While theory provides the what and why, pedagogy defines the how. A good lesson is fundamentally the result of deliberate, structured design, culminating in effective, real-time delivery. A. Backward design, starting with the end in mind. The most powerful approach to lesson planning is backward design, popularized by Wiggins and McTighe. Instead of starting with an activity, let's read Chapter 5. The teacher starts with the ultimate destination. Stage 2. Determine acceptable evidence, assessment. How will the teacher know if the objective was met? The assessment must align directly with the objective. If the goal is speaking, the assessment cannot be a grammar quiz. It must be a speaking task. Formative assessment. A good lesson embeds continuous, low-stakes formative checks, quick polls, peer review moments, exit tickets, and targeted observation that allow the teacher to adjust instruction during the lesson. The teacher is constantly asking, are they getting it? And what needs to be fixed now? 3. Stage 3. Plan learning experiences. Activities. Only now does the teacher select the activities, ensuring they are logically sequenced to lead the learner directly to the Stage 1 objective. B. Task-based language teaching, TBLT. The most robust pedagogical framework for modern English instruction is task-based language teaching, TBLT. TBLT prioritizes meaning over form in the initial stages, leveraging the natural human drive to accomplish goals. A TBLT lesson typically follows a three-stage model. 1. Pre-task. The teacher introduces the task, defines the goal. Example, design a marketing campaign for a new beverage, and may provide a model or language support. 2. Task cycle. Focus on meaning. Students execute the task in pairs or groups, using any language resources available to them. This is the stage of authentic communication and negotiation of meaning. The teacher monitors discreetly, listening for common errors but not interrupting fluency. 3. Language focus. Focus on form. After the task is complete, the teacher reviews the language used during the task cycle. This is the crucial moment of form-focused instruction, FFI, where the teacher addresses recurrent grammatical or lexical gaps identified during monitoring. This technique ensures that grammar is taught reactively and contextually, the perfect structure to meet the learner's immediate needs. C. Differentiated instruction, teaching the individual. No classroom contains 25 identical learners. They vary in proficiency, learning style, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, cultural background, motivation, and prior knowledge. A good lesson is inherently differentiated. Content differentiation, providing texts at slightly different complexity levels or offering multiple modes of content delivery, a podcast and a transcript, a visual graphic, and a written explanation. Process differentiation, offering varied activities to achieve the same objective. For a writing task, one group might collaboratively outline, while another works independently, and a third works with the teacher on explicit structure. Product differentiation, allowing learners to demonstrate mastery in different ways. Example, a written report, a video presentation, or a verbal summary. The goal is to maximize participation and access without compromising the core standard. D. Scaffolding. The architecture of support. The concept of scaffolding, derived from Vygotsky's zone of proximal development, ZPD, is essential. Scaffolding provides temporary support that is gradually withdrawn as the learner becomes more competent. A good lesson uses scaffolding to ensure the input remains comprehensible and the output manageable. 1. Soft scaffolding during a task, providing prompts, sentence starters, vocabulary banks, or graphic organizers. 2. Hard scaffolding during preparation, modeling the expected product, e.g., showing a sample email before students write one. Breaking complex instructions into simple, numbered steps, or pre-teaching difficult cultural concepts. The expert teacher is skilled in the gradual release of responsibility, GRR, moving the activity from teacher-led demonstration, I do, collaborative practice, we do, to independent execution, you do.